Hello, how are you? I'm here to discuss this book, Assessing Online Learning, Patricia Comeaux editor, but more specifically, I want to discuss Chapter 5, Using Virtual Learning Modules to Enhance and Assess Students' Critical Thinking and Writing Skills. Chapter 5 was written by David Hoffmeister and Matt Thomas, and deals with using Internet discussion boards to merge traditional reading and writing activities, forming what is called virtual learning circles. The construct for the virtual learning circle is the virtual learning module, or VLM. Now they describe the most recommended structure for building a VLM and the accompanying assessment strategies that might be employed to determine student discussion and board work. Now when discussing the pedagogical value of online discussion boards, there are a number of theoretical advantages. Areas of time, space, and place are removed. Now this allows an asynchronous nature that allows information to be posted, read later, and responded to after reflective thought. This flexibility allows students to manipulate the information, read, reflect on something, type, go back, and then give a response. Now it also provides an opportunity for common reading for everybody online. This increases the student participation. You can't hide in the back of the room and not raise your hand. And I think what happens also that's important is that there's an increased emphasis on student thought and reflection. Reflection is about teaching for understanding. Now virtual learning modules kind of sound kind of Star Trek-ish, but in reality they're like applications like WebCT or Blackboard. But it's important that they have 8 key components. 1. A common online text to read. 2. A reconstructive writing prompt that sends writers back to the text so that specific elements are written about on the discussion board, like this section is about this. 3. A constructive writing prompt to promote beyond the lines thinking, like this section makes me think about this. 4. An inquiry prompt, something that would say this section raises this question for me. 5. Directions to interact with fellow students by posting 3 replies or comments. 6. Gamuts or things that you can use to add a personal and human feel, like salutations and greetings. 7. A brief explanation of the instructor's expectations, which you probably would expect on the syllabus. And 8. Directions for the mechanical steps to accomplish the above. The steps you say how to do the online thing. What do you need? Accessibility, hardware, software, and such. Now about assessments. This is all about reflective thinking. In the examples given in the chapter, students were asked about security cameras in their middle school, and their response enabled them to combine their existing knowledge and personal values about cameras with security needs in a post-9/11 world. A rubric was used to determine the cognitive complexity of the responses in the VLM, and it was used in a discussion board VLM environment. On page 80, figure 5.2, it shows that instrument, which develops along a 4-part holistic continuum which coincides with the reconstructive and constructive prompts. Level 1, reflective reading with little or no extension of the information, all the way to level 4, where student shows constructive insights that extend beyond the text. As a basic instrument, it has value in a reasonable and practical, and as a reasonable and practical tool to score student VLM responses. Now, teachers may wish to evaluate VLM discussion board responses for other factors as well. Now, the use of scoring guides or rubrics to determine the qualitative or quantitative significance of comments can assist in this. The Schreier Institute for Innovative Learning suggests a 7-step approach. 1. Define the assignment. The goals and objectives are defined so students know the kind of content that is to be or is not to be included in the discussion. 2. Determine the areas you want to assess. Knowing what to assess is important. That is, it should be noted in terms of the content of the student writing and thinking, and it also should be kept in mind the timeliness and frequency of posts. 3. Determine the type of rubric or scoring guide you should use. Will the scoring guide be holistic or analytic? Holistic guides are easier to put together, but they're hard. They're less precise and they're harder to use when you've got a score that's kind of on the fence. Now, analytic guides are tighter, but they're carefully defined parameters that students can follow, and that's why they're tighter. Now, 4, define the key components. 5, establish standards for performance for each assessment component. And 6, develop a scoring scale. Now, 4, 5, and 6 are important because they outline the particulars to be scored and are agreed upon by all. This is the basic instruction process. It explains clearly the areas to be scored and along the continuum and how each criteria is going to be weighed. 7, adjust the rubric or scoring guide as needed. This is the reflective piece. If something works better, integrate it to the process. If something's not working so better, make a note of it, see if it needs to be changed. Now, part of this VLM, or part of this module, is moderation, the moderator. Moderation of the VLM is something teachers have control over, especially if the discussion is not engaged at the expected level, or it goes off in tangents, or people are off doing sidebars with each other all over the place. Effective moderation necessitates engagement with the participants to sharpen the focus and deepen the dialogue by pulling key thoughts and ideas to guide the discussion. Using VLMs with an effective moderator has potential to propel the VLM discussion board to new levels of thoughtful interchange among students. Now, I hope you thought this was as interesting as I did, and I hope this raises a lot of issues for discussion. I have a hunch that VLMs are with us, discussion boards are going to be with us a long, long time. And so the more we get on board with it, I think the better off we're all going to be. Thank you for your time.